Hey, what's up everybody? Ralph here. So today's topic, I want to talk about purchasing a home. Obviously, when it comes to building wealth, purchasing a home is one of the quickest ways to do that. But even though that's the case, doesn't mean everybody's ready to purchase a home. So if you're someone that's thinking about buying a home, you first want to ask yourself 3 questions, right? Now, the first question is, what is the cost of owning a home compared to renting? Because obviously when it comes to renting, all you're worried about is the rent. You got to worry about utilities. And if your landlord requires it, that you're going to have to also worry about like renter's insurance. But when it comes to buying a home, you got obviously the mortgage, you got to factor in paying taxes, insurance, you got lawn care, you got snow removal, you got sewage, you got garbage. Also, you got to worry about little things like maintenance around the house that you have to fix. Now, these are like costs that you have to focus and you have to think about as well, because a lot of people, when they're buying a home, all they really tend to think about is like, all right, what is the mortgage? What is my mortgage payment going to be? And they forget to also factor in their budget all the other miscellaneous costs that come along with it. So when you're purchasing a home, you want to make sure you ask yourself that question is like, okay, how much is it going to cost to own a home compared to renting? Because these are things you want to factor in your budget, and you want to make sure that you're not stretching yourself thin, right? Now, the second question you want to know is how much of a down payment are you going to need? Now, this is important because a lot of people don't understand, like when it comes to when they come to searching a home, obviously you have money saved up, but when you're figuring out a home, the first thing you want to do is like, okay, what area do you want to live in, right? Once you figured out the area that you want to live in, you now want to figure out the average cost of those houses around that area. So whatever the average cost is, and depending on how you're going to acquire a loan, whether it's going to be through FHA or putting the 20% down, you want to make sure you understand the average cost. Now, usually with FHA, all you need is that 3.5%. But remember, when you do the FHA 3.5%, you're going to have to worry about PMI. All right, PMI is private mortgage insurances, which the lender charges you once you don't put the 20%. It's almost like an insurance against just in case you default on the loan. Now, I would recommend that you put 20% down, because that's the best. That's how you avoid having to pay that PMI. But if obviously you can't afford the 20%, then obviously you put the 3.5% and go with the FHA. But these are the things that you want to figure out. You want to make sure you have enough for a down payment. And if you're someone that wants to avoid that PMI, make sure that you can save up for that 20%. So you can be ready when it comes to purchasing a house, right? So you want to make sure you factor in that, save up for that down payment, and that'll give you the best opportunity to purchase the home that you want. Okay. Now, the third thing is, how long do you plan on living in that home? All right. Now, if you're someone that's always moving constantly, then purchasing a home isn't going to make sense. Okay, so if you're someone that's hopping in from town to town, you live in a place for like 1 to 2 years, then purchasing a home isn't going to make sense. If you're going to live in that area for probably like at least 5 years, then it makes more sense to purchase a home. But anything below that, I wouldn't recommend getting into purchasing a home. Maybe it'd be better for you to rent until you figure out where you're going to settle down at long term. Because jumping from place to place, you're just better off renting and until you're settled down. So that's the question that you want to ask. Make sure is like, do you plan on being at the place you are for the long term? If so, then it might make more sense to purchase a home, right? So these are the 3 questions that I would ask yourself before you decide to purchase a home. Because once you ask these questions, then you have a better idea of like if you're ready to buy a home. Right, so that's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, so take care and have a good one, guys. Later.